Hi everyone, it's Kathy Zilski. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a shimmery glimmer paste heart card combined with a little die cut for my babe. And I've just been seeing a lot of glimmer paste in action and I thought, hey, I want to get in on this. So that's what I did. All right, let's take a look at the products I used. This card was inspired not only by glimmer paste, but by this die. It says Babe, it's just a word and shadow die. And I've got this whole group of new sentiments. It's called Simple Sentiments 2. And these are just a collection of different types of sentiments that would work for all kinds of different little strips that you could layer into your cards. And a lot of them are pretty fun. I have got Distress Oxides today, some Spun Sugar, Worn Lipstick, and Festive Berries. I've also got some jumbo sponge daubers that I'll be using, and a heart die from a Hero Arts die set. I've got this cool, funky palette because, yes, there is the glimmer paste. I've got this Nuvo glimmer paste in Moonstone, which is just a great all-purpose color that I'm going to be using today for my background. And then I also have cardstock, but here's the thing. I don't know which one I'm going to choose yet because whenever I blend Distress Oxides, I never know how they're going to look. So I'm going to wait to pick the cardstock colors until that part is done. I do know I'll use some white cardstock here. I've got some Neenah Solar White in the 110 pound, but I will pick the color cardstock later. All right. I've also got a few other things, some Versamark ink and some white embossing powder from Brutus Monroe, little post-it tape, and we're good to go. So the first step is I've trimmed a panel to 8.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm scoring it right down the middle at 4 1/4. You see that score line? But I am not going to fold it. Not going to do it yet. No, instead I am going to get some post-it tape and I am going to lay down 4 little strips so that I can create a masked off center square area that I can now go in and add some color. Now I want to make sure that the heart has clearance because I'm going to be die cutting the heart out of another panel. So I'm just taking my oxides and starting to lay them down. I have been using pink oxides a lot in the last several videos that I've been doing. Part of the thing is this, when I get into a color combo that I like, I'm going to keep using it for a while. You know, when you start to get some confidence with your blending and you think, I know what I'm doing with pinks and reds, there's nothing wrong with repeating a combo here and there because chances are you're sending the cards to different people. You know what I'm saying? But I just keep working it with these jumbo sponge daubers until the blend looks good to my eye. And the thing is, oxides make it easier to do this. So if you struggle with the blend, you might want to look into the oxides. All right. Now, got that Nuvo paste, and it's basically clear for all intents and purposes. But I am not going to put any back in. So I want to have just enough, but I don't want to waste any. And I'm just going to lay a very thin layer of this glimmer paste over this distressed colored area. I want to make sure still that I've got enough paste there because I kind of missed a corner. And I get very nervous with the paste because I think I'm just going to turn it into a big, hot, glimmery mess. But no, this looked pretty good. So now I'll just take off the post-it tape because I don't want it to dry and stick. And once this is off, I am going to set this aside for a good hour or more to let it dry. In the meantime, I'm going to cut out the front card panel. So I've got my heart just taped down right in the center, and this panel has been cut to 3 3/4 square, and that will fit nicely on top of my 4 1/4 square card. Pop that out, just like that. And one thing I love about these particular dies, and a lot of dies actually, but I love the sort of embossed look you get around the edge of the circle. Isn't that cute? I love that. Next, I'll cut out the Babe die. So I'm going to run this through, and again, I'm using the same Neenah Solar White Classic Crest 110 pound for everything you're seeing today. I feel like, you know, you have your lighter weight and you have your heavier weight, but the heavier weight is just so all-purpose. It's kind of hard for me to go back and use the 80 pound unless I'm doing something like embossing, but for die cutting, it's great. Now here's where I had to bring out my little cardstock ring because I wasn't sure did I want to go more red? And then I was looking at some of the tomato soup. These are all Gina K cardstocks and I keep them all in a ring. I went with Innocent Pink, I know. Now I've got this box. This is, I don't do this often on camera, and I'm not gonna make an exception today, but I spray off camera with the spray adhesive. I hold my breath and then I blow out because I don't want any of that going into my lungs, my precious little lungs. And it's just such a fast, strong adhesive. So stacking one, repeating the process, and then stacking the third babe. Just like that. Press it together, make sure it's lined up. I'm getting better at this. This is, you know, a little faster than I usually do it. But look at that nice dimension. I love that. All right, put a little brick on that and let that set up. Now it's time to do my sentiment strip. And stay with me here because I actually started out with black, thinking black was what I wanted. So I had my cardstock and I took all the static and oil off with my embossing magic pad, just like a good stamper should. Got my sticky ink, my Versamark, getting that inked up. And of course I'm using my Misty tool today because the beauty of the Misty is it lets you have a perfectly stamped impression. Adding my powder, gonna tap it off. But here's the thing, I love black strips. I think they're really great. But once I had this all done, and I'm taking a dry brush here just to get all the excess powder off. So if you ever have any extra little flecks, you can do that. I went ahead and heat set it, added my little label die, cut it out, and thought, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I added this to the shadow layer. So you see that? Gluing that all together. But I didn't love the feel of that black strip. I thought it was overpowering, and you'll see. So I made a change. I'm adding some foam squares to the back of my panel. And so there's that, and here's this. I just thought it was a softer look with Kraft, so I redid the strip, okay? But I wanted to show you this book. This is not story time. This is what I do to flatten things out. I have pieces in here that have been in here for a really long time, but you know how sometimes when you do something with watercolor or maybe glimmer paste and it just doesn't flatten? Yes, you can run it through your die cut machine, or you can stick it in a book and put it under something heavy and walk away. I do this all the time. I just wanted to show my book. Go dog go. It flattens my card projects. All right. So I'm taking the bone folder and just giving a nice press down now that everything's dry and I can fold it. But I am going to tape the card shut. I need this to be flat while I am actually working to adhere that top panel. Well, that looks pretty good. The color's great. I took all the backers off the foam squares and just press that down, and it has that nice little white margin of framing space. Love it. I just applied this with some dot adhesive, the Always and Forever in Kraft, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive. This is Gina Connect Glue to adhere the babe right to the card front. And I didn't feel the need to put any like foam tape behind the tall parts of the bee because I thought, you know, it's going to be fine. Put the brick on, and again, let that adhere. Now, because it's a square card, I wanted to make a square envelope, and this is so easy. I learned this from my friend Gina K. Take one of her envelopes and cut a ½ an inch off each side, just like that. And then open up the envelope, peel off those extra flappy pieces, and then take some sticky tape like score tape, and I'm using a 1/8 inch width. Just place some down on that part of the flap, repeat it on the other side of that shorter flap, peel off the backers, and then just fold it up, and just like that. And then you can just double check to make sure your card will fit. Surely enough, that will fit. And then as a finishing touch, you can round the corners of the top part of the flap that folds over for a nice finished look. And there you go. Cute little square envelope for your card. I'm just going to be giving this to my husband, so I don't have to worry about it going through the mail, but that's the finished card project. And it's really fun to play with the whole blended oxides and then layering over some glimmer paste for a really shimmery, gorgeous look. Thanks so much for watching. I would love to have you become a subscriber, and I'll see you back here with another card project soon.